Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with another unboxing video. And today, I have a very special all NXT edition. That's right, every figure we unbox today has some sort of connection to NXT. In addition, almost all of these wrestlers are in the news for some reason or another, so we're gonna turn this into another episode of action figure news as well. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get to the first figure. And that is former NXT General Manager, Sir William Regal. As you can probably tell, I got this figure used online, and it's the only loose figure we have today that technically doesn't need to be unboxed. Of course, the big news with William Regal is that he left NXT and is now managing the Blackpool Combat Club, consisting of Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and Wheeler Yuta. But getting to the figure, this is absolutely perfect for his current role. And it looks just like him. Look at that face sculpt. Hopefully the camera will come into focus and you'll be able to see just how much it resembles William Regal. There we go. It's got his perfect William Regal scowl and great hairline. He's also wearing very similar clothes to what he's currently wearing, as well as what he wore in his general manager role. The blue undershirt is hard plastic and is part of his torso, but this vest is a really nice fabric material, held together with Velcro in the front here. It also has some Velcro pockets. And yeah, overall, a really great figure. Even has the little clasp in the back for the vest. Especially on a used loose scale, I give this a 9 out of 10. This will be a great addition to my AEW collection. Speaking of NXT defections to AEW, the former Isaiah Swerve Scott and leader of Hit Row is now Swerve Strickland in AEW. This is a basic figure as part of WWE Series 125. It's the first time in the line, but this is actually the Chase variant. The normal one is wearing green trunks. Taking a look at the packaging, we got a nice picture of Swerve there. And on the back, we see that his signature moves are the JML Driver and the Swerve Stomp. He's considered a high flyer. And this is the rest of Series 125. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to get any of these. Especially considering The Rock is retired, Jeff Hardy just went to AEW, Elias doesn't exist because his little brother Ezekiel is around now, and Ember Moon also left WWE. Anyway, I think it's about time to let this breathe. And here it is. Since it's a basic, it doesn't really come with any accessories, but it did pass the stand test pretty well. Taking a look at that face sculpt there, it's pretty good. I think it looks just like him. If it had sunglasses, I think it would resemble him a little bit more since he tends to wear those pretty much all the time outside of the ring. But I do like how they did his dreadlocks here. Really good job. Also, great work on all the tattoos. So yeah, really impressed with this. I'll spin it around here. Got more tattoos on the back there, and a continuation of that pattern on the trunks. Down here, we just got white socks, black shoes, pretty standard. But yeah, on a basic scale, I'm gonna give Isaiah Swerve Scott / Shane Swerve Strickland a 9 out of 10. Another solid figure and another great addition to my AEW collection. Next up, and in breaking news, Kushida has left WWE / NXT. That means he's leaving behind his tag team partner Ikemen Jiro and their tag team Jacket Time. I really had high hopes for Kushida in NXT. He's one of the best junior heavyweights in the world. And for some reason, I really like his Marty McFly gimmick, but they couldn't find a way to use him right. However, they did find a way, for the first time in the line, to get a Elite Kushida out. It's part of Series 88, and man, it already looks great just in the packaging. As you can see, this gets the true FX lifelike details treatment, and it does come with the sunglasses that you can see pictured here. Taking a look at the back, And it looks like the rest of the figures in this line include Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio, a really nice MVP I've actually seen in stores, Riddle, and Trish Stratus. Kushida himself is being billed as from Tokyo, Japan, at a height of 5'9" and weighing 192 pounds. He's a former Cruiserweight champion, but enough about his accolades, let's let him breathe. And here he is in the classic time splitter pose. I already put the glasses on, and he's looking at his watch as if to say, time to get going, although as of right now, we have no word on where he's headed. Most likely he's headed back to New Japan, but that's not confirmed yet. As you can see, all those articulations of the Elite figures make him super easy to pose, and he passed the stand test with flying colors. But before we take a look at the figure itself, let's take a look at the extra hands that came with it. We have 2 right hands, 1 fist, and 1 open fist. They have the black tape on them. And then we have 2 left hands. One is the corresponding pointing finger, and the other is the left open fist. But setting those aside, let's take a look at this beauty. As you can see, he's in his Marty McFly getup. He's got this really cool denim jacket with, of course, the orange vest over top, but it's this really nice thin plastic. And then the jacket itself is a nice fabric material. Moving down here, the shorts have this really nice design on the side, and it continues all the way down through the boot. We have the same thing on this side. And then, why don't we take off these sunglasses so we can take a look at that face? And that looks just like Kushida. Unfortunately, I think even when the camera's nice and clear like this, his very thin mustache kind of connects to his upper lip. However, I can tell you in person, it looks just like him. Anyway, spinning him around. Back here we have his signature ponytail. And yeah, I'm gonna just straight up give this, including the nice accessory of the sunglasses and all the extra hands, the great articulations and posability, as well as the lifelike face, we're gonna give it a 10 out of 10, even on the Elite scale. But like I said, he is going in the free agency drawer for now. Next up, another first time in the line, it's Candice LeRae. Now, from what I'm to understand, she is still technically in NXT, even though her husband, Johnny Gargano, has left. However, she has come back from maternity leave, and I believe she is cleared to wrestle. There just aren't any plans for her. For now, though, we're going to open up what looks like an amazing figure of the Poison Pixie. This is part of Series 87, and if you're saying, hey, that packaging looks a little damaged, that's because it is. I got it with a damaged packaging discount on ringsidecollectibles.com, and I recommend you do the same whenever you're looking for a figure and you don't really care about what the packaging looks like. Anyway, let's spin the box around. The rest of Series 87 includes an Elite Santos Escobar, Otis, Braun Strowman, who's been long gone from the company, Apollo Crews, and Asuka. Candice is only 5'2" and hails from Riverside, California, and I've never heard of this finisher, the Quebrada. Anyway, it says after years of getting nowhere playing nice, the Poison Pixie reinvented herself, embraced her dark side, and set her sights on the NXT Women's Championship. With all that said, I think it's about time to let Candice breathe. I've got Candice here in her entrance attire while we take a quick look at her extra set of hands here. Only one set this time, but it is open fists for holding mics, as opposed to the open palms that she's sporting right now out of the box. I honestly didn't notice in the box, but she has these awesome wings that she always comes to the ring with. They used to be more traditional pixie wings before she turned heel. You actually can't really see it on camera because it's done so well, but there is your traditional little tab and clasp system here. And before we take it off, let's see how the figure looks with it on. The face sculpt is really well done. I'm loving the purple hair. She used to be blonde. I will say, I always thought she looked like the character Cameron from House, but I digress. She has a purple and a pink wristband. She has purple knee pads and what almost look like sneakers on here. She is definitely a very short figure, which she's a very short girl in real life, so that makes sense. And I'm really liking the trunks. They look just like what she wears in the ring. We'll spin her around so you can see the back here with the wings. They're all tattered up. I'm really liking that. And the big collar on that vest there. We'll come right back around, and now let's get that vest off. And this is what her top looks like without the vest on. And yeah, I'm going to give this figure on an elite scale a 9 out of 10. It's really, really nice. I think my only critique is either give me more hands or more accessories. Next is Candice's kayfabe son and former member of The Way down in NXT, Austin Theory, who now goes by just Theory, and was recently called up to the main roster, where the big news is he has defeated Finn Balor for the United States Championship. So we'll put that on him after we unbox him. Anyway, taking a look at the figure, it's part of Series 91, and Theory is wearing his The Way attire from NXT. Just like Candice, it looks like he's going to have an extra set of hands and a removable vest, but that's it, so we'll see how that affects the score. Spinning the box around. Of course, he's from Atlanta, Georgia, which is why his finisher isn't the ATL anymore, it's actually the A-Town Down. He is 6'1", 220 pounds, and after helping Johnny Gargano win the North American Championship, the dynamic Austin Theory joined The Way. The other people in this line include Hulk Hogan, Rob Van Dam, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Bianca Belair. And now it's time to let him breathe. As I predicted, no additional accessories, so it's probably not going to get a perfect score. The extra set of hands, as you can see, is just the corresponding right and left hands for what he came with out of the box. But like all the other figures today, he did pass the stand test with flying colors. Let's bring him closer to the camera so we can see that face. I think they did a really good job of capturing his arrogant smirk. I will say, though, that I think the head looks a little bit fat for his body. His head is actually kind of thin for his body type, whereas this makes him almost look like a bobblehead. Otherwise, it does look like him. As for his clothes, I really like this almost Wolverine-inspired The Way gear. It says Theory on the back of his trunks. We have The Way logo. This was, of course, his faction with Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, and Indy Hartwell. I don't think I'm going to go through the hassle of taking off the vest right now. It's probably just a bare torso, and I think he looks better with it on anyway. But the lack of accessories and the slightly off head sculpt is going to knock this down to an 8 out of 10. Oh, and before I forget, there's your United States Championship. And for some reason, here is Vince McMahon to present it to you. No chance in hell, kid. Next up, we have arguably the king, the OG of NXT Black and Gold style. It is Tommaso Ciampa, and this is the ringside exclusive War Games edition. As you can see, he's got an extra set of hands, he's got 2 pieces of really cool looking headgear, and he's got some really great ring attire. It does look like it's going to be fabric, which I always prefer over plastic. I can't wait to get this thing open. But real quick, since it is a ringside exclusive, that means it's going to have unique packaging, so let's spin this baby around. There's that mean mug of Ciampa there. And here he is with that headgear and the outfit that he's wearing. No one will survive. Nobody in NXT can question the toughness, grit, and determination of the Black Heart. the former NXT champion overcame neck surgery, knee surgery, and forfeiting the NXT championship he lovingly named Goldie, only to return to the ring stronger and better than ever. And it goes on to say how this is the attire that he had on at War Games when he took on Timothy Thatcher. As I spin the box back around to the front, the big news with Ciampa is that he has now been promoted up to the main roster, and it looks like he'll kind of be a mid-carder, unfortunately. He wasn't even the key player in his debut interview segment, which ended up being all about Kevin Owens and Ezekiel. Anyway, let's let it breathe. I will say this is the first figure today that didn't immediately pass the stand test. He was a little bit wobbly, and I think the one leg is a little bit longer, leading to this noticeable lean. However, look at this backdrop. That thing's amazing. It's the NXT entranceway with the big Tommaso Ciampa picture in the background. I love this. But like we've done with the other figures, let's start real quick. We got an extra set of open palms here. And I was wrong about the headgear. It's actually two pieces that form one piece of headgear. So there you go. It's kind of a mask and a top. And why don't we put that on him real quick? All right, there he is with his awesome entrance gear. Almost looks like Predator from this angle. Now let's bring him a little bit closer and take a look at that. So you can kind of see his eyes poking out there. But let's get it off so we can take a look at that head sculpt. And that looks just like Tommaso Ciampa. I've had Johnny Gargano for the longest time, but I haven't had a Ciampa. I was gonna get the one where he has the crutches, but this one's so much better. He's even got that little bit of gray in his beard. Old man Ciampa, interesting fact, he's only a year older than me. But we'll spin him around. We do have this nice fabric material. It's not the best fabric, but it is fabric, which is always better than plastic. And it's held together with Velcro, so let's just kind of pull it aside real quick. We have the Elite torso here. And it looks like he also has a really cool necklace. Kind of spin his head around so we can see that. But yeah, he's got a little necklace, so yeah, another accessory. I will say these ringside exclusives never disappoint. I have a ringside exclusive Walter, don't make me say Gunther, and it's equally amazing. But let's set him right back there and say that with all the accessories, with this amazing backdrop, with the awesome head sculpt, this is an easy 10 out of 10, even on the Elite ringside exclusive scale. Next up, we have our first and only NXT UK figure for the day. This is Noam Dar, the Scottish Supernova. It's his first time in the line as well, and he's part of Series 129. Let's spin it around. This is a basic figure, and the rest of the series includes Roman Reigns, Dominic Mysterio, The Miz, and Carmella. Noam Dar's signature moves include the Champagne Super Knee Bar and the Nova Roller, and he is known as a technician. Now, for anyone who watches this channel or follows me on Twitter, you know that NXT UK might be my favorite WWE brand. And even though I'm a little bit behind right now, I'm fairly certain Noam Dar is still your current NXT UK Heritage Cup champion. This is a trophy that effectively serves as the mid-card title in that promotion. Anyway, this is a basic figure, so there's not going to be any accessories or extra hands. Let's just let him breathe. Here he is, Supernova 11 out of the box. I will say his joints are a little bit stiff, but he still managed to pass the stand test just fine. Taking a look at him up close, he's got this awesome Supernova pattern on his trunks that he's always had, dating all the way back to when he joined WWE in the Cruiserweight division on 205 Live, and had a really interesting feud with Cedric Alexander over the affections of one Alicia Fox. We have Supernova across the back, And coming back to the front here, I think that face looks just like him. I know if you haven't really seen him much, it might look like kind of a nondescript face, but that looks just like Noam Dar. So on a basic scale, I think I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Next is one of 3 members of Legado Del Fantasma, one of the more powerful factions in NXT right now. This is Raul Mendoza, and the reason I'm doing him first is because he got his name changed the other day and is now going by Cruz del Toro. Anyway, this is the first time in the line for him. He's part of Series 128, and check out that Sugar Skull makeup and that awesome mask accessory, even though he's a basic. As I spin it around, I want to say that I really like that they put him in suits because, well, they're usually in suits on the show, him and his faction. But we see here that his signature moves are the 450 Splash and the UAM Terminator. He is known as a high flyer, and this series includes Edge, Big E, Sasha Banks, and another MVP. I think we saw that earlier. But there's nothing left to do other than let Mr. Del Toro breathe. Here he is out of the packaging, and overall he looks phenomenal. I will say, he has these dress shoes on that at first I thought he wasn't gonna pass the stand test, but he ended up standing just fine. He came with this mask, so let's put this on real quick. Fits really well, but honestly, I'm rarely gonna use it. Now let's bring him a little bit closer to the camera so you can see all that detail. And wow, look at that Sugar Skull makeup. I also love the detailing on his gray vest there. Obviously, as a basic, you can't take any of these clothes off, but that's okay because I really like him in this suit. And it's a really good suit for a basic. He also has really decent hair. And if we come around to the back here, we can see he just has basic black pants. Here are the shoes though. Because the toes tilt up like that, I thought he was gonna fall forward, but he actually sits back on these nice big heels and stands up really well. So there he is, Raul Mendoza, or Cruz del Toro now, and I'm gonna give him a 10 out of 10. He looks absolutely fantastic, especially for a first figure ever. If this was my first figure ever, I'd be so stoked. Next up is the guy that I referenced a second ago. It's Joaquin Wilde, also a member of Legado del Fantasma. It looks like he also has a suit on, and he also comes with a very similar mask and Sugar Skull face paint. Although he too is first time in the line, he is part of Series 127, which comes with Rey Mysterio, Keith Lee, Santos Escobar, and Shayna Baszler. His finishers are the 630 Senton and the Hostile Makeover, and like Raul Mendoza, he's known as a high flyer. Time to let him breathe. Here he is out of the box, and it's a very similar story to what happened with Cruz del Toro. His joints are a little bit stiff, and his feet look like they're not going to be able to support him, but they do rather well. He has an almost identical mask, and it looks the exact same on him as it does on Raul Mendoza. Let's bring him a little bit closer to the camera. And as you can see, we have another perfect head sculpt with amazing Sugar Skull makeup. His suit is a little bit different. He's got this awesome gold chain, and it's an all black suit instead of the gray vest that Mendoza has underneath. Again, you can't take any of that off because it is a basic, but it does look really, really good. So just like his tag team partner, I'm giving him a 10 out of 10. And finally, we have the third member of Legado del Fantasma and the leader, Santos Escobar. He's also part of Series 127, but this is not his first time in the line. Unlike the other 2 members of his group, who are in suits, he's in his ring attire here, but I wanted to get all 3 figures with the Sugar Skull makeup so they matched at least in that way. Turning it over to the back, This is part of that same series with Joaquin Wilde. It looks like his signature moves are the Phantom Driver and the Sunset Driver, and like his other two members of the group, he is a high flyer. But now it's time to let the third member of Legado del Fantasma breathe. Here he is, and right away I have one small problem. Although he perfectly passes the stand test, he is tilting to one side pretty bad. However, with that said, he looks awesome. He doesn't come with a lucha mask like the other two guys, but he does come with these awesome purple tights. They got some type of marking there. It almost looks like a question mark, but it's missing the dot. He has this awesomely detailed armband. Hopefully the camera can come into focus there. There we go. Look at that detailing. And speaking of detailing, look at the detailing on his Sugar Skull makeup. I'm seriously so impressed by all three of these guys. He also has a couple of tattoos since he doesn't have the suit on. And we can see the detailing there with the yin-yang, some type of bird. Come around to the back here. He's got another one on his shoulder. He's got the nice ponytail. Yeah, it looks just like him in the face. And he matches the other two guys. I'm really liking this, so why not? We'll give him a 10 out of 10 too. And that'll do it for a very special combination unboxing and action figure news video, NXT edition. If you like this, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. One of my recent videos should be on screen now, but until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.